back home, I actually went in and I went to Amazon and found the green one. So I bought 4 of these, and I'm probably going to still end up going to buy the green ones off Amazon. So I would say could be crack. I only bought 1 journal today, so I'm kind of proud of myself. So it is what it is. Anyways, number 1. Number 1 is that your page is cluttered and it's unclear. One of the biggest mistakes I see when I go onto someone's page to do an audit is I read your bio and I still have no idea what you do. So if you are a strategist, if you are a entrepreneur, if you're a mom, if you play soccer, if you are a tarot card reader, if you are a beauty consultant, if you're a hairstylist, I don't need to see all of that in your bio. What I have been seeing lately is a laundry list of 8 or 9 things people do. And by the time the person you're trying to attract is finished reading it, they still have no idea what it is that you do. So if you guys read my bio, it says Instagram for entrepreneurs. It says my name is Cici and I am a digital brand strategist. And it tells you that I teach entrepreneurs how to collect their coins through their content. So I'm going to end up updating that for Q2, but it needs to be clear of who you are, what you do, and most importantly, what is someone going to get from following you. Think about it with your Instagram page. If you, pull it up. I used to do what I call the Instagram screenshot test because my old business cards were actually Instagram screenshots. So if someone were to go to your Instagram page, and let me turn it down just a little bit. So if someone comes to my Instagram page and I were to screenshot it. So if I had to give this screenshot out as my business card, would people still know what it was that I did? If you could not do that, you probably need to go back in and do your bio again. So I don't care if you are a stylist. I don't care if you're a boutique owner. I don't care, all these different things. People don't care. They need to know exactly who you are, what you do, and most importantly, how can you help them. So you should have a very simple idea of saying, hey, I am XYZ and I help who you help, and what do you do? People do not buy products. People are buying your results. So your actual product is a means to an end, okay? So, number 2. Wait, before we go on, does it make sense to everybody? And I had a couple of examples, but I don't see it on my page, right? What is? I don't remember that one. All right, thank you. All right, number 2. So if you guys are ready for number 2, go ahead and drop that in the comments for me. Another thing. Yeah, my watch died about 4 hours ago and I still have not actually charged it. All right, so if you're ready for the second one, go ahead and drop that in the comments for me. And basically, I'm trying to be more mindful of how I do my engagement on my broadcast. So if you guys are here and you're learning something, just do me a favor so I know I'm doing a good job. Make sure you keep the hearts going on this side, or simply, if you have questions, that's why we're here, okay? So, yeah, because I didn't know who you were. Your first audit was not terrible, but I had no clear sense of who you are, all right? Number 2 is your content does not add any value. When you are on Instagram, Facebook, Pinterest, Twitter, wherever, people are here for a reason. So I see so many pages that have 100, 200, 300, 400 posts. And even though I have scrolled your entire timeline, because I'm that crazy person, if I'm really interested in a brand, especially one that I admire, I'm going to go back to your very first photo because I like to see how brands have evolved over time. So I think recently I went back to the beginning of Fit Man Cook. And I believe he's been on Instagram for about 5 years. So he has about 2, let me look real quick. And you have to be committed to this because y'all know if you scroll up a little bit, Instagram is going to kick you back to the beginning. So let me see how many he has. Yeah, he has 2,428. So this is Kevin, a Fit Man Cook, and I love his page. And I noticed like he doesn't really use any hashtags. So I'm like, okay, he's got 1.1 million followers. I want to know, well, how the hell did he get there? So I scrolled all the way back to the very beginning, and he made me feel better because I remember my yellow countertop days. I'm like, yeah, I used to have photos like that too. So I can see how his photos right now are badass. But the ones he had in the very beginning, they were not that good. So I was like, okay, I really want to see, how he's been consistent. How often does he post? What kind of information he's putting up? Because it is what I consider to be a successful page. So going back to the beginning of his page, I learned a lot. Most people, if you scroll their page for 100, 200, or 300 posts, and you still realize you're not giving out any kind of value. So you have all of these mixed match photos. I don't know who the page owner is. I don't have any good content. I'm probably not going to follow. Or if I'm following you and I'm going through it, I'm probably going to get aggravated and I'm probably going to unfollow. People are following you for your content. So when some of you guys say, hey, I have no idea why people are not following me, I don't know why people aren't buying my stuff, it's coming down to your content. If you are not engaging people and catching their attention based on your photos, since Instagram is a photo sharing app, they're probably not going to move forward. Content is something you cannot run away from. If you have bad content, you probably have bad sales. Okay? So, I don't care if you're only posting once a day. As long as that post is giving somebody some type of value, they're going to continue to come back to you. So, it's not about, okay, Cici, how many times do I need to post on my page in a day? It really isn't about the post number. Because if you put up 3 bad photos, I would have preferred you not post anything. I've seen people who are flooding the timeline over and over again. The content is bad. And the more I see bad content, you can tell if content is bad because your people will basically ignore it. So if you are putting something up and you're not getting any likes, you're not getting any comments, and no one is hitting you up your DM or emailing you, your content probably is not resonating with your audience. So if you have, let's say you have 500 followers and you make a post. If only 2 people like that post, it's probably not good content. And so many of you guys are married to bad content. It's ridiculous. Your people are saying, hey, we don't want that. You cannot run your page by yourself. So if you're putting up content they do not want, they're not going to pay attention. If they don't pay attention, they don't get to know you. Your business is going to run by the know, trust, and like factor. So if they don't know you, they don't trust you, and they don't like you. If they don't know you, trust you, or like you, they're not going to pay you. Okay? So we basically are working on content marketing. Whatever you're putting out, whether it be a live stream, it can be your email, your blog post, your sales page, all of that is content for your business. If you have bad content, you're going to lose out. Okay? Quotes before going. Please make sure you guys have quality photos. That's number 3. Number 3 is there are way too many apps out here. We've got PicMonkey, Canva, WordSwag, Rona Designs, TextCutie. There are hundreds of photo apps out there. There is no excuse that you should have some jacked up bullshit content. Serious. I see so many people who are screenshotting the same things over and over and over again. Well, what happens is once you screenshot something 100 times, it's pixelated, it's blurry, and it simply does not look like your page. So there are too many apps out here. Most of them are free. Y'all know for me, Canva is big. I use Canva, Adobe Spark. Me and Adobe kind of get along, but Canva is what I use the most. I'm learning how to use PicMonkey, and I also use WordSwag. Y'all, if you have to pay for something, it's probably like $4 or $5. If this is something for your business, you should not be upset about paying $5 if you expect to make money. If you are too lazy, and that's what I look at it as, if you're too lazy to figure out how to make your content look good, I'm going to assume that you do not care about your product. If you don't care about your product, why in the world am I going to pay you? Okay? So, quality photos are a big deal. And again, because y'all use the same photos across all your social media platforms. Canva, for me, works the best on the desktop. And I have tons of Canva classes that you guys can check out. WordSwag, I think, is... It may be I've had WordSwag for like 5 years. So it may be $4 or $5. But again, it's $5. If you cannot invest $5 in your business, I don't want your product, because that's going to tell me what kind of business owner you currently are. And if you are not willing to invest small amounts of money in your business, why should I pay you? Okay? And going back into the quotes. Every quote that you see on Instagram, or that you see on Google, or every meme that you see is not something that belongs on your business page. You don't care about half these things that you're posting. You are pulling these from pages that they've been popular on, and you're simply reposting because it's been successful somewhere else. Well, guess what? If I put a quote up, y'all know how I get those long paragraphs. If you get a quote from me, you're finna get a story. So if I see something or I post something, I'm saying, hey, I saw this and I thought about it, so this is what I thought about it. A lot of y'all are posting the BS, and then you don't even have the decency to actually put in a caption. So all you did was threw some up on your page and said, hey, this caption's cute, let's go ahead. How about we stop doing that? Because that quote means absolutely nothing to you. That quote is not impacting you at all. You don't care about it. It'll make you feel nothing. So when you put it out to your audience, you're like, well, I saw I did really good on Cici's page, but my people aren't talking to me, because that's mine. You have got to make sure you're making content that is true and authentic to you. You can't have my authenticity, because that's mine. So if I put up something like I put up earlier, it was real simple. It said, get used to having money. Well, for me, I've had issues the last couple of months where I am growing into a level of success that sometimes I am growing faster than I'm ready for, and it takes my mindset a little bit of time to catch up to where I was and to where I am. So one of my things was get used to having money, because a lot of us are either holding on to money so hard that we're acting like we're never going to make another dollar, or we are spending money like it's monopoly money. And I say, guys, all the time, my first year in business, I made 6 figures. I still, to this day, and I have sat down and thought about this, I cannot tell you where that money went. And the reason I blew through it so quickly was, and I'm not saying not all of it, I did pay bills, I did go on little trips here and there, I did some more shopping, but as an actual adult, I really was very irresponsible. And because I was spending it like, kind of like an income tax mindset. I was like, I got money coming in, and I'm not sure if it's going to be coming in tomorrow, so let me live it up while I can and keep moving. It took me about 2 solid years to get serious about my money, to get used to having money, so I'm not feeling like I'm always in a poverty mindset, and be like, okay, well, it's okay to spend this right now because I'm going to pay myself back. I actually started saving money. I started spending money and tracking my money. I started saying, okay, I want to make $5,000. I want to make $10,000. But before, I couldn't do that because I had no idea what kind of money I was making. I did know I was spending a lot of it, but I had no idea what was happening. So when I told my husband, baby, I want to quit my job. He really had not, I was in business for a year, but he had not seen anything different in our situations. So he was like, quit your job for what? So I had to get very serious about what I was going through and what I was doing. So I had to get used to having money. Well, I tell people that story. Now, if you repost it and all you repost is my quote, what does that mean to you? Is nothing wrong with reposting things, but again, those cool little apps, WordSwag, PicMonkey, TextCutie, Ronin Design, Overgram, all those things, what does it mean to you? People are not following your page for other people's content. So if I'm following you, I want you. If they want to get my content, they can follow me. So, all right, so please be mindful of that. People, it's nothing wrong with every now and again sharing something else, but your page should be based on you. If all I'm getting is the recycled version of somebody else, I might as well go get it straight from them. Okay? So, number 4. Number 4 is consistency. I don't know why people think they can get away from this. Consistency is consistency is consistency. It doesn't mean showing up on Monday, disappearing into Wednesday, and come back next week. That's not consistent. And when it comes down to consistency, for the most part, y'all, you can not only show up on your page when you have something to sell, okay? So if you are getting ready to do a launch, if you're getting ready to drop a new product, if you're getting ready to release something, that should not be the only time people see you. You have got to work on whole account handling or whole brand handling and actually get to know your people. You got to serve to sell. So if you want to have a good ratio of sales posts versus actual content posts, probably about 70 to 30%. Now, if you're good at what you do, you can draw somebody to buy from you every single day without having to say, hey, go buy my stuff. People want to get to know you. People want to get to know your story, your testimony. Why are you here? How did you get there? People want to know that from you. My story and my journey is not your story. It's not your journey. So it doesn't matter if you're not making 6 figures or 7 figures. If you're successful in your own right. And what success is for you can be something totally different from somebody else. Okay? So consistency means showing up when you want to talk, when you don't. It means showing up when you are tired. It means showing up when you are aggravated. It means showing up when you are mad. Showing up when you're happy. Showing up when you are having a good day. You have to keep showing up because people are clocking you. Like I know for me, I'm consistent. My mama, if I don't get on live stream or don't post on Instagram, she gets worried. Now, she'll call me and she'll check on me. But if I go over 24 hours without posting something, she thinks that I'm sick. And that's because even though I'm 32, she's been with me for 32 years. And I've only been on Instagram for 5 years. My Instagram is how she checks on me. So now, lately she's at my house like every day. But she'll, before she comes over, like, hey, I didn't see you go live yet. So she comes in quiet. She makes it a point to make sure she checks me. Even if people are not saying anything, they are paying attention. You have people online who are popping up every single day. You got new coaches, new gurus, new experts, new consultants, new whatever. I don't know you. And we fall into stranger. No, it's not. Because mama special. But we fall into stranger danger. If you want me to show up and pay you $100, or I want to pay you $200, or pay you $300, who are you to ask for that kind of money? So it's not that people don't want to pay your prices. It's not even that you're not worth your prices. If you're not willing to build your foundation to show people why you are successful or show people how you are helping them, they're not interested. So consistency means showing up very, very regularly. And for you guys who are still working a full-time job, Instagram now allows Hootsuite, Planoly, and Later to automatically post to your profile. They started that about 3 or 4 weeks ago. And y'all know we waited on this like forever. Before, Instagram did not allow any scheduling posts or automatic posts. So you no longer have the excuse of, well, I work a full-time job. Till when to? All right, so there are 4 platforms now that are Instagram partners that allow you to automatically post. I did a class last Saturday on how to do it with Planoly. So if you are saying, well, I work a full-time job, I got kids, I got a husband, so if you want it to happen, you're going to make it happen. So check out, it's Planoly, Tailwind, she said, Later, and Hootsuite. I use Planoly. So if you guys, I have a whole hour-and-a-half class on how to use that. If you guys need that after the broadcast, shoot me a DM. But you don't have the excuse anymore, I gotta be on the platform all day long. No, you don't. So you can sell all your stuff on, don't care. Put them on there too. So you can set stuff up on Wednesday, on Mondays, on Tuesdays. Hey, Maya, however you want to get it done. But you do not have that excuse of, I don't have time. Well, for people who never have time, they also never have money. Okay? And last but not least, we'll do a quick recap. So here are a couple things that are wrong with your Instagram page. Number one is your page is cluttered or it's unclear. So we do not need a laundry list of things in your Instagram bio. Tell people who you are, what you do, and most importantly, why should they care? So if you read your bio and you have no idea what you do personally in your page, you probably need to change it. Number two, content needs to add value. So if you are working on something or putting something out there, people need to understand what you're doing. If you're constantly posting BS content, you're going to be broke, okay? Number three is if you are too lazy to redo your photos. So, and y'all, this is just in general, if you don't go find some college student who's trying to get her portfolio together or some person off Craigslist, there are plenty of iPhones. iPhones take good photos. So it's not like, hey, I can't do a photo shoot. If you don't have the budget to do like a big photo shoot, get you somewhere with some good sunlight, put your makeup on, and be cute. So there is no excuse to have crappy photos. And then, of course, we have all these different things for the photo apps, and it's simply no excuse, okay? So if you're trying to wonder why you do, hey, I have a whole stack of stuff from Michael's, y'all. I need to go straight down. But yeah, if you're too lazy to get your stuff, I don't know why we live in this. Yes, they're wonderful, but we live in a microwave society. We want the money right now. That's not how it happens. We don't get here by accident. So yes, there are going to be some sacrifices. There are going to be some different times. You're going to miss some sleep. You're going to miss some meals. You're going to miss some time. But it's okay because you're working towards something. So if you keep saying, okay, I don't have time, baby, you don't want it. And if you don't want it, that's cool. But get out of the way of people who do want it. So I don't have time for you complaining. I don't have time for you making all these excuses. It does not matter, okay? Then, of course, we have our consistency. That's number 4. Consistency means you're not only showing up when you have something to sell. So if you are releasing a new line, if you're releasing new products, if you got a new book coming out, got a new film coming out, that's not the only time your audience should see you. So, and they know, trust me, they know. If you are trying to say, okay, I do my stuff all the time, quit BSing yourself about what you're really doing. If you're doing the work shows up. And I had a client this week who said, you know, I really want it now because the work is different. I was like, yeah, when you're doing the work, not only will you see it, your bank account is also going to show it, okay? So if you feel like, hey, I'm doing every single thing that I should be doing or that I can do, you're probably not. And sometimes what you're doing, sometimes you're stalling yourself because you're not investing. There are way too many courses and classes and things out here that you can learn from. So if you are stuck, there's no reason for you to remain stuck. That's lazy. All right. And my last point, so that's what, if your page is cluttered, if your content does not add value, giving out quality photos, and being consistent. And the last one is checking your stats. If you have no idea what you got going on. So Instagram, let me actually pull that real quick. If you're posting something on Instagram, and my Wi-Fi being real finicky. All right. Anytime you post something, anytime you post something on Instagram, this is like one of my, I'm currently shadow banned, which is okay, but this is currently one of my highest performing photos. So anytime you post something on Instagram, guess what? Instagram tracks it for you. So it tells you how many likes you got, how many people commented, and how many people saved it. Excuse me. So you have the perfect in the palm of your hand. You know exactly what something is doing. So if you have, let's say you have 500 people. If you have 500 people and you're only getting 2 likes per photo, there's something wrong with your content. If it doesn't matter if you have 500, 5,000, 500,000, your people are telling you what they want. So if you, I'm currently shadow banned because some idiot reported my photo yesterday, and I'm guessing they kept doing it because it kept popping up. So I'm guessing that's because it's still, yeah. Whoever I made mad yesterday, apparently I made them real big mad. So whatever. My page has not suffered today. But basically, your insights will tell you how your page is performing. So even though I can't use hashtags right now, anytime I put something up, and you have to know how to read your stuff. That's another thing. Everything is not going to show up. So if you don't know how to read your stats at the basic level, you're probably not going to be able to understand what's going on. Every photo I put out there does not get a ton of likes, and that's okay. Normally, if you're putting out a product photo, you're probably going to have lower likes, as long as that does not affect my sales. So you don't gotta like it, you ain't gotta comment, but I do want you to buy it. So I can tell based on the clicks to my profile or clicks to my work to my website what people are buying. So if you are doing that, or if you know how to read your stats, it's okay. So again, everything does not show up based on likes and comments because I still get paid. So know how to read the basics, so when you're trying to tweak it, you know what's going on. All right? Actually, this is the first time I've actually been shadow banned, so I just gotta do some research on it. It's not bugging me that much, so I guess we'll see how it works out. It happens for a lot of different reasons. I got reported a lot yesterday, so it has not stopped me from posting. But anytime I put up a new photo with my hashtags on it currently, I do not show up in the hashtags. But it's habit, so I know that's going to be lifted soon. I'm not really worried about it. But that just reminds you, do not only rely on one form of advertisement on your Instagram page. Okay? Technically, yes. How do I answer that one? All right. So when you post content, do the automated bots count towards your page? Yes. Anytime you get a like or a comment on your page, it's going to show up. Now, as far as going forward, though, people who are bots or bots you're getting on your page are not going to buy. So even though it looks good for your stats, it does not help you to convert. So understand the difference between the two. Mine are both. I actually have like 5 different sets of hashtags right now, and because it happened last night, and I knew everything I posted past that point I couldn't find, and when I logged in last night, like every couple minutes, it was pulling up. So not a big deal because I have other ways, but it happens. All right. Oh, where is my note? How many of you guys, I did also want to give you guys a breakdown of how to figure out your coaching prices. Somebody asked me that yesterday, and I said I would do it on, hey Leah, I would do it on my next live. Okay, so how many of you guys want to offer some, I have to use acting real funny. All right, how many of you guys want to offer some type of coaching or consult services? And we're going to do pen and paper first. Okay, so I told myself, it's going to be applicable, I told myself that I was going to bring coaching back in Q2. But y'all know I'm not a real big fan of one-on-one coaching. So I had to make sure that if I was going to do coaching, it has to be worth my time. So the formula I came up with was basically taking, because we're on March 15th. So Q1 is pretty much over. And at this point, you guys should know how much you made for this year. So the way I broke my coaching down, and I actually rounded up, was I took how much money I've made this year, and let's say if ideally you want to work a 40-hour week. So if you were working a traditional 9 to 5 and you only wanted to work 40 hours a week, you want to take that number and divide it into your total profits. So what I did I feel really congested all of a sudden. All right. So this year I have made $138,869.44. 138,869.44. We are currently on week number 13. So if I divide 13 into 138,869.44, it's going to give me $10,682.26 per week. All right. So if I divide the 10,682.26 divided by 40, it means that, honestly, yes I do. I ran a program at the beginning of the year that was like 2018 because normally my numbers are even. So I did the 700K ebook was 2018 and I did a 2018 class. So I probably added up from that. But hey, my 44 cents counts. So if I'm going to give someone an hour of my time, basically if I'm saying I want to work a 40-hour week, I make about $10,000 per week. So for me to give up an hour of my time, it needs to be replaced based on what I make. And again, remember, I sell ebooks, I sell classes, I sell courses, and I sell audits. So anything that I do needs to be basically based on that. So when you divide the 40 into 10,682, it's going to give you $267.06. So I have decided going into quarter 2 that my hourly consults are going to be $297. And that, for me, I hate pricing. I absolutely, positively hate pricing. So for me, I don't want to price too high, but I also don't want to price too low because honestly, one-on-one coaching is not where my heart is. I love doing the live streams. I love doing my products. And on days I don't feel like dealing with anybody, I love still making my money. So if I'm going to do coaching, at least the one-on-ones, it needs to be something that's going to be respectful of my time. It's going to help me still make the same amount of money. And for me, I want to make $1 million this year. So I need to make sure that all of my income streams are going to make me at least 100K. And I want to have about 10 income streams. So if I'm doing my calls at $297, and I'm probably only going to consult maybe 2 or 3 days per week. So I would say probably about, let's say, 10 hours. So if I do my $297, if I book 8 calls per week, 297 times 8, that's going to be $2,376. If I do 10 calls per week, times 10, that's going to be $2,970. So ideally, I'm going to book them out. I love it because for me, it just works out better. I've never had an issue for the 99s or 97s. It's marketing psychology. It works. So if it ain't broke, don't fix it. So if I'm doing, let's say I book out 8 calls every week, 2376 times 4 is going to be $9,504. If we do 10 times 4, it's going to be 11,880 times 12 times 12. So times 12 on that end. All right. So if I only do consulting and I do 8 calls per week or 10 calls per week, if I book out this is just ideal situation. If I book out every week, I'm going to make between $114.48 to $142.560. So for me, that's how I validate if a system is worth doing. For me this year, if it does not have the ability to make me at least 100K, I'm probably not going to run behind it. So I know with my courses, with my ebooks, if I add consulting back in and just my general products, each one of them has to make at least $100,000 if I'm going to do it. Okay? So any questions there? I've got to set my calendar back up because I don't work on Wednesdays and I normally don't work on Mondays. So it's only going to be available 3 days a week. And we'll see how it works out. Alright. So that is what I have for you guys. What time is it? For like 10 minutes. So if you guys have any questions, go ahead and drop those in the comments and we'll try to answer. Don't know why my paper is sitting right. I've got to stop tearing paper at my kitchen table. What is included in consulting? Normally those, and keep in mind, consulting and coaching are different. So I'm probably still not going to take on very many long-term coaching people because that's too much investment. But consults are basically, you sit down with me for an hour or so. It'll probably be 45 to maybe an hour long session. And we talk about your business, your sales funnels, your email marketing, whatever you want to talk about. Oh, I had a question by the end of the day. For you guys who have watched my $36,900 video, and you ask how do you apply that to digital, how you apply it to product? Other words, if you guys have watched my story highlight that tells you how I wanted to make $36,000 in January, and you wonder how to apply that to products, it's the same thing. Wednesdays and Mondays, honestly, because I don't like those days. You guys know how on Sundays, everybody complains about Monday. So I said, okay, cool. I'm not working Monday. And Wednesday is normally when I play catch up. So I take Wednesdays off as well. Twitter. If you need help with Twitter, check out Women's CEO Project. I think Chrissy has something for that. Yeah, I use Acuity. And a lot of notes. Yes, Pinterest is really good for traffic. For you guys who are using Pinterest, keep in mind Pinterest is not necessarily social media. Pinterest is more of, I call it a visual Google. So it's more of a search engine. So it's meant to bring over traffic. And I think something a lot of people get confused is about building traffic. Traffic does not guarantee you sales. I don't care if you got 100,000 or 1 million people coming over to your page. People are only going to go so far. So if your content or your products do not exhibit value, they're still not going to buy from you. So getting more traffic is not a good idea if you don't have your basic conversions down. Every day. When I started offline, I worked on my business before work, on my lunch break, and after work, and all my weekends and my holidays. So to really get serious, my first probably 2 years, I worked all the time. When rebranding, should I delete? Let me grab that one. I'm not sure if you're rebranding while you have your personal photo. So if you're branding or rebranding, you should have a fresh page for that. My specialty is digital products, email marketing, and Instagram. And the virtual manager says she does Pinterest. I know Pinterest is an amazing traffic driver, an amazing place, because every time I go on Pinterest, I spend money. So I'm pretty sure if every time I go on Pinterest, I either buy an ebook that's like $17. So Pinterest it's like kind of like pay to play. I'm always going to somebody's website or always getting something simple or sign up for a mailing list. So again, with your people, traffic is important, but you want the right traffic. And if you're not good at what you're doing, no, I'm not. If you're not good at what you're doing, even if they're on your page, you're probably going to see really, really low conversions. And conversions overall, depending on how big your audience is, good conversions, honestly, guys, are about 3 to about 4%. So don't think if you don't have like 80% conversions that you're doing bad. Most people are looky-loos. They're not going to buy anyways. So you really need to focus on people who are coming over. And my goal is between 8% and 10%. Yes, I have a class called How to Start an Online Business for under $100 that I think I'm going to probably open up tomorrow. I'm doing All About the Green bundle. Thank you for saying that. Quick question. I was going to do 3 ways to make 10K in 30 days as a class. How many of you guys would be interested in that? And if you're interested, do me a favor and drop a price in the comments. And I'll probably do it based on, it's going to be, what do you need to make the certain product? How do you sell it? How do you market it in an actual sales funnel? So I'm going to do ebooks, courses, how to do your tech skills, and how to do it with your products. So do me a favor if you guys are interested in that. I got to find my calendar, but I need a price. I don't know for names. No, I don't have anybody for names. I have 4 notebooks I'm working on right now. Alright. If you guys have any final questions, I should be hitting my countdown pretty shortly. Yes, it does. If you're on Instagram, you need an audience. It doesn't matter where you are. So if you're on Instagram, you need people. I teach how to build your Instagram page. And honestly, guys, before asking, does something apply to you, take the time, watch the training, watch the videos, and go apply it. The only way to know if something's going to work for you is you actually try it out. Everything does not work the same way for everybody. Oh, he's going to the gym. Okay, that's another good question. So what would you guys want to learn inside the class? So what kind of points you guys want me to cover? Put that in the comments. That's just yours. You're welcome. I have so many notes. You. Unemployable was like my 12 times final half of them was not final. Well, thank you.